Recently, Star Citizen dropped a new letter from the chairman, which reflected on progress during 2023 and hinted a look ahead by dropping a reference to something hitherto only hushed in quiet tones, the 1.0 release. The time when Star Citizen becomes a fully fledged game, standing on its own 2 feet. No alpha, no beta, just Star Citizen. Of course, there's been no shortage of excitement as a result of that reference, but it's important to remember that it's still a long way away. I'm Farrister, and this video is looking to dampen the hype just a little and look at the reality facing the next couple of years of Star Citizen. The game is awesome, even right now. For all of the challenges and bugs and problems and frustrations, it can be really fun to log in and day out to play the game. It's actually something that stood out during a recent podcast over on Space Tomato Gaming, where Yogi referenced that internally the guidance was to move on from calling us backers and start calling us players. But despite how awesome the game can be, it's still a long way from a 1.0 release. The list of things you can do in-game is notable. With a variety of combat and non-combat options, in ships or on foot, there's already a lot available for players to experience. But the list of promised features that aren't yet in-game is also notable. There are entire gameplay loops that are completely missing, and whilst it's conceivable that with more resource moved across from Squadron 42, some of these could be accelerated, there's still a lot to do. Repair gameplay, engineering gameplay, passenger transportation, VIP transportation, base building, exploration, stealth, the list could go on, and that's not to mention the backlog of ships that are still to be added. Whether these things are critical to be able to call Star Citizen a 1.0 release, well, that's up for debate, but certainly there's still a long road ahead, and that's before talking about star systems. One of the exciting things that's been going on in testing over the past few months has been the back-end technology that allows multiple star systems to exist. Players got their first glimpse of Pyro about 6 months ago, and more recently, the first player made the jump from Stanton to Pyro via an actual jump point on the test server. This is huge progress, and makes it quite conceivable that the live version of Star Citizen will see 2 star systems this year. Those who follow game development closely may also know that there is a 3rd star system in the works, which could end up following closely behind. But one of the stretch goals behind the crowdfunding campaign set out that Star Citizen would have 100 star systems to explore on launch, and, assuming that launch means version 1.0, there is a huge amount of work to be done. Naturally, it's possible that statements made back in 2012 need to change, and maybe Star Citizen won't have 100 star systems on launch anymore. Indeed, it seems feasible that new systems could continue to be added as new dynamic content for players in a live environment. Some would be happy with that, others may not be. But with a vision of 100 systems, it does seem unlikely that delivering just 3 would be enough to justify a 1.0 launch, so there's probably more work to be done there. And then there are the game concepts and models. Things like how exactly will Death of a Spaceman work, for realsies? How will ship insurance work actually? How will the economy be balanced with different gameplay loops, ship sizes, group sizes, and areas of space? Even just inflation of in-game currency is a potential stumbling block. None of these are insurmountable obstacles, but probably need a good deal of testing before hitting a 1.0 environment. The assumption is that a 1.0 environment means no more resets, that your progress remains, which means it's incredibly important that all of these concepts are fully worked through, otherwise there's a real risk of game-breaking imbalance. That testing adds length to the horizon which 1.0 sits on, and that's before even considering the polish and bug fixing that's clearly needed before the game reaches a live state. Once again, this is an incredibly exciting project. The scope and scale of Star Citizen is unlike anything that many of us have experienced yet, and what we're likely to get at the end of it is very exciting. But it's important to be honest about how far there is still to go in the project, and so this video was to try to temper the enthusiasm for 1.0 with a little realism about the length of the journey ahead. Star Citizen 1.0 might be twinkling on the horizon, but it's still well beyond arm's reach. That said, 4.0 is widely expected this year, and that in itself should be an exciting big change for the player base, so lots to look forward to, and obviously it's important to say these are just my thoughts, so I'll be interested to read your thoughts in the video comments. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel but would like YouTube to show you more videos like this, then you might want to press that button, and if you thought this video was interesting or thought-provoking, then pressing the like button will give me the prompt to make more videos like this in future. Otherwise, and as always, thank you for watching.